welcome to today's WordStream webinar, 5 Tricks to Getting Clicks this holiday season. My name is Michelle, and I'm here to get things started before passing things off to our expert. So for those of you who are not familiar with WordStream, we are a search marketing software provider with free and paid tools to help you easily grow your AdWords, Bing, and Facebook campaigns. So if you're looking to master paid search, you can check out our PPC University at www.wordstream.com/learn. Okay, and so for some quick logistics before we get started, following today's presentation, you'll receive an email from Mark with the recording of today's presentation along with the slides. And we'll also save some time for Q&A at the end of the presentation, so don't be shy, submit your questions in the questions box. And then finally, we encourage you to be social and join the conversation on Twitter, following at WordStream and our expert today at MarkIrvine89. Okay, and now I have the pleasure of introducing today's expert. Mark is a senior data scientist at WordStream. He's been in paid search for 4 years. He was recently voted the 14th most influential PPC expert of 2016. Huge congrats there. And Mark's favorite holiday is Christmas, which makes him the perfect presenter for today's webinar. So with that, I will pass things off to Mark.
Thanks, Michelle. And so yeah, Michelle introduced me. Not only have I been doing paid search for a while, I've been doing paid search now for just over 4 years, but I've been loving Christmas for all of 28. So it's not just the fact that of like the holiday of Christmas, like it's a great day, family, friends, gifts, but just the entire season. So WordStream, we're based out of Boston. Boston kind of becomes like a winter wonderland this time of year. It begins snowing, it's very light snow, it gets a little cold, people put their lights out. Boston's known for being a cold city, but just this entire Christmas season, people warm up a little bit, and it's one of my favorite times of the year for the city, but it's also a really great time of the year for paid search and for your business as well. So that's why I'm extra excited for this webinar today. And so a lot of naysayers out there are just gonna kind of, those Christmas haters out there, they're going to say, hey, it's just Halloween on Monday. I'm still either currently nursing my hangover from the long weekend of partying, or I'm still riding out my sugar high. And although Halloween's great, the ghouls and the goblins and the witches aren't the scary part of Halloween to me. And to a lot of paid search marketers, the scary part of Halloween is the fact that Black Friday is now only 3 weeks away. So when we talk about your accounts as they are today and the strategies that you've been using in your accounts for the past couple of months, they're really going to need to go through some transformation in the next 3 weeks to get ready for the magic and all the wonderment that comes with the holiday season. So, yep, you have all this Halloween candy. Very excited to eat all of mine. Michelle can speak to the fact that this is probably the first hour that I'm going to be away from my Halloween candy for the past week. But don't worry about that. Halloween candy has a 6-month shelf life. Look it up. Your ads in your paid search account, really, as it stands today, it's only good for another 3 weeks. When we start talking about how people approach the holiday season, a lot of us think about, I think about holiday shopping and what I do during that Christmas season. I really think about what I'm doing during the month of December. But more and more research is going into how people are beginning to shop for the holiday season. And as it turns out, more than 80% of people really begin their holiday shopping before the month of December itself. Specifically, half of all of those people, or 40% of all of those people, have already begun their holiday shopping before Halloween. So that means that people are actively going out there, they're making these purchases well in advance before what we would traditionally consider the holiday season, before we're necessarily even really doing our holiday sales. But not only are they making these sales, but they're going online and they're searching for these products. So it's particularly important when you talk about paid search and SEO that your holiday season is prepped up early. And so with that in mind, the very first trick I want to lead into today is to start your planning now. Again, 40% of people have already started their Christmas shopping. Another 40% will start sometime later this month. So we're really looking at 80% of the people beginning shopping for Christmas well in advance of December. And it's one of the difficult things about any holiday season, whether or not you're a retailer or whether or not you're a B2B or regardless, is you're going to have the conversation with your boss or your clients about money. And I know when I have to go internally to our boss and ask for money to do something, it's my least favorite part of my job. But you want to have this conversation early because it's way easier to have the conversation to get money to plan your holiday season than to have the conversation later on when you've already spent it all. So start off by knowing your budget. So obviously when you have your meeting with your clients or when you have your meeting with your boss, you're going to have to go into that meeting and have some ideas of how much money you're going to need. And a good place to check out in terms of how you gauge how much money to ask your client or how much money to ask your boss for as you're planning your holiday season is to look into your own paid search account. Specifically, I like to look at the same period last year. Here I'm looking at a client's account. We see that in September and October, they consistently spent $8K, $9K, $10K a month. But as they've begun to get into the holiday season in November and December, they're spending almost double that. They're spending close to $20K a month. So that's going to be one of your first places to look in terms of how do you estimate how much additional money you need for the holidays. Go through your account and see how much did your spend naturally increase the same time last year. And that's a good starting place. Most people will kind of leave it there, but I'm going to kind of push a little bit further. And there is a second metric that I like to look at when I'm estimating budget. And that's specifically, I like to look at the search impression share and the search impression share loss due to budget metrics. So I can see here that last year, yes, I did double my spend in November and December than what I traditionally do. When we look at the search impression share and the search impression share loss due to budget, I actually see the fact that during that period of time, I basically had 30% search impression share and was losing another 25% due to the budget restrictions I had in my account. It's fairly simple math. We have about 30% of the search impression share. Add in that additional 25% that I could have got if I just had more money, and the math becomes really clear that although I spent $20K in the month of December, I could have easily spent an additional $15K. All that comes up to means I should be asking for roughly $35K if I just wanted to keep my campaigns afloat and running throughout the holiday season for this particular client. Now, it's totally reasonable that my client's not going to want to triple or quadruple his ad spend, but knowing the fact that these campaigns would require that much money really helps me make that ask for that money. But if they're not going to give me that money, then it allows me to know where I need to prioritize my spend. Now, let's say you don't have a paid search account or you didn't do a lot during the holiday season last year. A free tool to check out exactly how you can expect people to engage with search over the next couple of months is Google Trends. And so Google Trends, it's a proprietary tool of Google themselves. So anyone can go in google.com/trends And it will allow you to look at how, when, and where users are searching for a particular keyword or industry or a content piece. So specifically, if I want to see how people are searching, how many people are searching for the Boston Red Sox tickets this time of year, I can go back, I can look at how people were searching during the holiday season last year, and same kind of story as this year. We are not in the World Series. Imagine that. So throughout the course of October and November, there's a fairly static search interest for it. Not a lot of spikes, not a lot of jumping around. Of course, on weekends, some people are searching for it more than during the days. Maybe some trades are going on. I honestly don't remember the off-season last year. It wasn't memorable, evident by the season itself. But what's interesting to see is that around the holidays, just shortly after Black Friday last year, you begin to see these giant peaks in search traffic. You can see Black Friday, you can see Cyber Monday immediately following that. And going into December, that search interest continued to rise. And it basically began to rise up till 4 times that original search traffic that was constant throughout the month of October. And knowing that well in advance, I'm going to make the same assumption that people are going to have that same kind of increased interest in that keyword going into December this year. It will help me plan my budgets this time around, knowing that I'm going to see increases in search interest around these keywords. So now you know, obviously, your budgets, know what people are searching for and when they're searching for it. Next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to talk to people and you want to know your promotions well in advance. So if you're an agency, this is going to be a conversation with your client. Your client likely has a full promotion calendar well in advance of Black Friday for the entire month of December. If you're a business owner, well then that's a little bit more on you, but you do know the fact, we all know the fact that we're going to have some kinds of promotions around Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and throughout the holiday season. So now is the time to really map those out, grab a calendar, and plan when these promotions are going to happen. And that will allow us to really plan what's going on in our paid search accounts. As you're making these plans, there's a number of resources out there, but the idea here is you want to plan around the major holidays that people are going to be searching for. So we know most people are going to begin doing their holiday shopping sometime during the month of November. So specifically, 88% of retailers will begin starting their promos the first week of November. And that's this week, guys. So if you currently don't have this, you're already falling a little behind and have some catch up to do. Next big holidays we're looking at Thanksgiving and Black Friday on the 24th and 25th this year. And then the following Monday, the 28th, Cyber Monday, the largest online sales day within the United States. Hanukkah is early, goes 8 nights. That's going from the 6th to the 14th this year. So obviously that's a shorter time frame to really make sure that you've got your promos for that holiday well in advance. Green Monday and the following couple of days are considered the largest desktop online shopping days outside of Cyber Monday. It's basically going to be the last full week for people to buy their Christmas gifts in advance of the holiday. And then as you begin to approach the final week of the holidays, starting on the 18th, free shopping becomes an increasingly larger sell. A lot of people, when they're planning their holidays, they're planning basically through the 25th or through the 24th. But on the online market, we know the fact that in order to get something for the 24th, at the very latest, they need to order it by the 22nd. So free shopping really becomes a fast approaching deadline for a number of shoppers and becomes an increasingly large sell, making up roughly 46% of shoppers' minds of whether or not they're going to purchase from your particular store. Then obviously, Christmas Day is Sunday, the 25th, and then moving into the 26th and thereafter is when you're really going to have those holiday cleanup sales. So looking at this calendar, there's a lot going on around the holidays, and it's a particularly interesting dilemma that we see. That obviously Black Friday, Cyber Monday, the days before and after Christmas, they're very important days to nail, but they're also, to someone like me who loves the holidays, they're very personal, important days as well. So, there is every year, me, my staff, all of my clients will express this concern of this dilemma that, okay, I've got this 2-year-old niece, and she's so cute, and I'm only going to see her a handful of times over the course of the year. I'm likely going to see her on Thanksgiving. I'm going to see her on Christmas Eve. I might see her a little bit of the day on Christmas, but it's going to be hard to get her attention past her presence on Christmas. So I really only got a few days to spend time and see this little girl. My brother doesn't live all that close to me, so I have this choice of spending a whole lot of time with my friends and my family and doing all the things that I love about Christmas. But my clients will also have the expectation that I'm going to make sure that during those times, their Black Friday or their Christmas ads or whatever they've got going on are being handled correctly. So I kind of have the option of doing what I want to do or doing the best for my clients. And a lot of people in the industry find a lot of stress around how do they manage this. Luckily, for the past 3 years, I've really figured out a trick that allows me to do both. That doesn't mean I have to excuse myself from my friends or my family or from the holidays or the holiday parties or anything going on, that I can fully enjoy the holidays as a human being while still making sure that all of my client work is being done during these sensitive times. And the big win behind this is once you know your promotions, once you know your budgets, it's very easy to know exactly what you're going to rate in terms of your ad copy and where you're going to be sending this traffic. So plan ahead. The next couple of weeks, admittedly, are not the most exciting time anywhere. November, not a whole lot's going on. It's kind of cold. Weather's mediocre. You're going to spend a lot of time at work, a lot of time inside anyways. Write your ads now. I know, for instance, that my clients will have Black Friday deals. I know what those Black Friday deals are. Write that ad up. Save 50%, Black Friday only. Later in the month, they're going to have a lot of ongoing deals. Save 30% on this, save 50% on this, get the best deals now, come back tomorrow, this deal goes for 2 days, that kind of language. I can write those ads now. And then similarly, as we approach that final week where free shopping becomes important, I know that I'm going to be running a lot of ads that contain that free shopping cell, so I can write those now well in advance, knowing when these are going to run, knowing how long they're going to run, and knowing exactly what they're going to say. I don't need to write this on Thanksgiving Day or on Black Friday itself. I can write this today, have it in my account, keep it paused. And then I can actually schedule my ads to run with an automatic rule. Basically, I'm going to go in, look at my ads. I'm going to select the ads I want, and next to edit, I'm going to hit automate. I'm going to create a rule to enable my ads to run, let's say Black Friday at midnight, or let's say December 22nd, the last day for free shipping, or whatever my promotion days are. I know those well in advance because I spoke to my client and I got all those promotion days in advance, and I can just have those ads scheduled to run at midnight or at 8 a.m. or at noon, the day that those promotions are going to go live, and then I don't need to physically drop everything I'm doing at midnight on Thanksgiving and make sure that my client's ads are running. And I can simultaneously both enable those ads, or I can pause out those ads as those promotions expire. Very similarly, I have my clients' budgets now. I can go in when I'm looking at my campaigns, and I can similarly create an automatic rule to change the daily budget on a given day. So if I know that I'm expecting a lot of search traffic around Black Friday, and we should all expect a lot of search traffic for our products and services around Black Friday, I can automatically go in, increase my daily budget on Black Friday without even having to log into AdWords itself. This rule will happen exactly at midnight. I can be asleep, I can be out with friends, I can be with family, and I don't need to worry about paid search at midnight on Black Friday. Because let's face it, we all have other things we'd rather be doing than going to AdWords, as fun as it is. And then the best part, a lot of us are going to have strict budget caps. Let's say your client gives you $20K budget, and you know that's so easy to spend this money during the off hours, during the holidays, during the weekends, particularly during the holiday season. And you don't necessarily want to sit there every day looking at, okay, we're at 18K, we're at 19K, we're at 19.9, sit there and wait for us before I have to pause all my campaigns. We can create an account level budget under billing, account budgets, and then we're just going to generate a new budget for the entire month of November or December. Specify that I only want to spend 20K this month. What's going to happen is once I spend 20K, all my campaigns are automatically going to stop running, and there's no way for Google to overcharge me on that. And it's going to be good for me. I'm not going to be up at 3 a.m. watching a budget spend slash dollars. It's going to be good for your client. They're not going to overspend. You're not going to have to go back to them after your holiday vacation and tell them, oh, sorry, I missed your daily budget. I missed your budget. I overspent $1,000. And your boss is going to be happy. You're going to make your Christmas bonus. It's going to be great. So with all of that, moving on to trick number 2. You want to take the season to write new ads. Obviously, you're going to have a lot of new promotions. You're going to have a lot of new things to say. So you want to write new ads for the holidays. And there's our beloved ads that we've written for 16 years, including a headline, 2 lines of description text. We've known this. It's been what AdWords has been since 2000. I want to introduce you to a new friend. These are expanded text ads. And so expanded text ads are an exciting thing. They're live in all accounts now. What they have is they have a longer 30-character headline, a brand new second headline that'll appear alongside that first headline, 2 optional character URL paths of 15 characters each, and 1 condensed 80-character description section. And all of this is 10 characters longer than the previous 2 lines of description text. All said and done, the new expanded text ads format is 47% larger than the old standard text format that we've been using for the past 16 years. And this has a lot of real opportunities in people's accounts. I mean, you stack them right next to each other, looking at the standard ads on the left versus the expanded text ads on the right. And it's really easy to see that, like quite literally see, the fact that the expanded text ads are larger and that they draw your eye so much more than the older ads. They take up more space on the SERP and they provide you with so much more creative messaging opportunities than the older standard text ads did. And what we're seeing is that accordingly, most clients who are creating these expanded text ads are seeing drastic increases in their click-through rate. Median click-through rate, we're seeing from the standard text ads to the expanded text ads is a 28% increase. But some people are doubling their click-through rates or even doing better than doubling their click-through rates just by writing these new ads in this new format. And now, as of Monday, expanded text ads are now live on Bing as well. And they're actually doing even better on Bing than they were on Google. We're seeing that 20%, 28% increase in click-through rate on Google. We're seeing about 10% more increase on Bing. So Bing, lots of real opportunities to increase your click-through rate on Bing network just by using these new ads. Now, like everything in this winter wonderland, nothing's here to stay forever. And in particular, your standard ads are also going to disappear soon. So there's extra reason for you to really go in there and create your expanded text ads. Specifically, once all of the holiday season is all and over and the magic is leaving the air and it's getting a little bit warmer, at the end of January, specifically January 31st, is the last day for you to ever create a standard text ad in your account again. After that, it's only going to be expanded text ads. So take the holiday season as an opportunity to really play around with this new ad format, knowing the fact that you're going to have to use it after the holidays anyways. This is only a good opportunity for you to use them. Now, I did say that most advertisers are seeing good click-through rate gains from these new expanded text ads. But it is possible that these expanded text ads might not do well for you your first try. Like any other A/B test, not everyone's going to do it perfectly. So there are a number of best practices for Google's new ad format. There's a full infographic on our site. I've included a link here, and when you get these slides, feel free to visit it on your own. But I'm going to harp on the big one here, and that's to write new ads. Now, there's going to be a temptation that you love your ads, and you love your ads the way they are. And I get that. You spend a lot of time ad testing that. There might be this temptation to just include a second headline, add that to your existing standard text ad, and call it a day. But what we're seeing is that's not really increasing click-through rate, and it's not really giving people more value to these ads. And Google did this themselves during their product demo of the expanded text ads, is they basically took this Guitar Center ad and just added in a second headline and didn't really create any new messaging alongside it. And this is the kind of situations that we're seeing people who are struggling with expanded text ads. This is why they're struggling. You really want to take the chance to look through your entire ad and rewrite your ad to be a little bit more, include a little bit more meaningful messaging in it. So one of our clients really took this to heart. Namely, they sell an HR software. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, writing ads for HR software is not exactly the most exciting thing. But their old ad read, best onboarding software, engage employees right away with our easy onboarding solution. Didn't do all that great, and they really struggled to get people to get excited about that ad. They rewrote their expanded text ads. They took advantage of that additional 50 characters to say a whole lot more in the ad. So now their ads read, employee onboarding software, easy paperless onboarding, hiring is difficult, onboarding should be easy. And just messaging that appropriately, it really reaches what people are searching for. They're looking for a solution to things that are not exciting when they're looking for HR software. And we're seeing that by appealing to those emotions, they have a 400% increased click-through rate just by rewriting that ad copy. Now, the third thing that's going to get you ahead of your competitors this season is to take advantage of new ways to convert. So we all know that during the holiday season, conversion rates are going to skyrocket. Specifically, people are searching so that they can get something or order something or put in an order for something. That's why most of us turn to Google this time of the year. So we know, the data is from Google itself, that the average conversion rate following Thanksgiving or in the days leading up to Thanksgiving through the Christmas holiday itself, conversion rates peak. They're at an all-time high for the entire year last year, often doubling or tripling. But even within this sample, there are some people who are doing particularly well and who are doing more than just triple their conversions this time of year. And those people are ones who are really thinking outside the box of how can I convert these users apart from just the standard offer that I run through the course of the year. So Google and Bing and Facebook have a number of different presents under our tree as advertisers this time of year. I talked about one of those presents being the expanded text ads. And by all means, create expanded text ads, try them out. It's going to get more people to your site and ultimately more conversions on your site. But there are other presents under the tree as well that I'm going to encourage you to think about using. Specifically, I want to talk about expanding our reach on the SERP with shopping campaigns. So shopping campaigns, someone who's searching for a product or service, they're going to go to Google, they're going to type in colored Christmas trees, and you'll get a host of paid search ads, but you'll also get these shopping ads as well. And so these shopping ads, they're very engaging. They include a colorful picture, they include your price, they include details or a promotion concerning your product. And what you'll see from this is people who are looking to buy your product or who are actively shopping for your product are going to have high engagement rates on the SERP with your shopping ads here as well. But not only is it just the fact that you can show up here, that you can put your product right on the SERP rather than having people read a text ad, a big win to the shopping is the fact that in AdWords, you can create one paid search listing in your account. So Treetopia here, they include an ad, they're bidding on the keyword colored Christmas trees, and they show at the very top of the SERP. Maybe they're getting 4% of everyone who's searching for this to arrive at their site. They also have an organic listing. One of the great things about the fact of running paid search is you can show in both paid search, the paid listings and the organic listings. But the big win here for Treetopia is that they also have these 6 shopping ads on the SERP at the same time. So unlike your paid search listings, where you're only going to have one ad here, you can show up to 16 ads simultaneously on the shopping network. And that's going to allow you to attract a lot more traffic to your site or really showcase your best products. Here, just above the fold for this keyword, colored Christmas trees, there's a total of 13 links above the fold, and Treetopia has 8 of them. It means that more than half of the clicks that are happening on this search are going to go to Treetopia's site. I'm going to call that a big win for Treetopia. But so shopping is absolutely going to get a lot more traffic to your site, and that's going to create a lot more sales on your site. But I also want to talk about ways to get people to convert offline as well. Specifically, thinking about a strategy for calls and how you handle calls. Not everyone is going to arrive at your site, put something in a cart, check out, or fill out a form and give you their contact information. Some people are going to need help finding out more information, or scheduling an appointment, or scheduling a sales call, or something along those lines, or figuring out where their packages are, or some kind of support, seeing if they can troubleshoot a coupon code or something like that. They're going to want to talk to a human being or to an automatic system. And call extensions are going to allow you to include either your phone number or a click-to-call button to allow people to call your site, or a click-to-call campaign is going to send mobile traffic exclusively to drive those calls. And these are very easy wins for you. These are going to be very inexpensive leads, and they're going to get you in touch with the person behind the search itself. So if you begin to think of how can I support these offline conversions like phone calls, it's going to give you the hottest leads you can, way more valuable than just someone arriving at your site. And also, Google, just 3 weeks ago, I want to say, started rolling out this new text message extension. It allows users who are searching on their phones to send a text message directly to you or to someone in your business to get more information or start that conversation via text. I know, and guys, I'm an awful millennial. I hate the phone, but I text message all day. And from me, just knowing how I interact with the internet, I can seamlessly go from Google to a website very easily. I can seamlessly go from Google to a text message just as easily. With a phone call, there's a lot of restrictions about, like, I'm obviously not going to call people when I'm on the bus to work, or maybe when I'm driving, I'm not going to call people. Well, maybe when I'm driving, I'm not going to text people either, but we all know that's not necessarily true. But this is going to make that conversation so much easier, and we're going to reduce that barrier to get information from people and to start that conversation organically. A lot of people are immediately skeptical about message extensions, but there's a lot of opportunity if you begin to think about how you could possibly handle these text messages. Services, plumbers, spas, barbers, dentists, it's very easy to have a messaging service like this schedule an appointment for you, or to schedule a call, or to request support. I actually happen to have a few clients who deal with something a little bit more serious. I have a DUI lawyer who is using these text message extensions. Typically, when you get a DUI, and you're statistically more likely to run into this situation during the holiday season, it's not a fun, comfortable conversation to have within person, but this is a very easy way to break the ice and begin that conversation. Very similarly, I have a client, a rehab client. Again, this is the time of the year that families get together and begin to discuss some serious things like this. But my rehab client actually sees that since implementing this extension, roughly a quarter of all of his clicks from mobile are these text messages. And it's very easy to engage that kind of difficult conversation via a text message like this that's automatically filled out for you, than necessarily picking up the phone and having to go through that first step of admitting that you have a problem in person. That text message allows me to begin that conversation and have someone else approach me about it. So that's been huge in a number of unconventional industries. It's not something that my clients necessarily thought of in July, but since this has come out, if you're willing to manage these text messages, if you're willing to think of how they can fit into your business strategy, there's a lot that you can capitalize with. Retailers, a lot of retailers are using these text messages to get phone numbers so that they can subscribe them to offers, deals, and sales, and put them on one of those marketing lists. Basically run it similar to how you would run an email marketing campaign, but with text messages. And so that's been great for retailers as well. And then similarly, going off of offline conversions, location extensions, and Google's new affiliate location extension, which came out actually earlier this week, allows you to show either your physical address to your store, so you can get people to actually visit your brick and mortar store, or an affiliate location extension that's going to allow people to visit retailers that sell your product, places like CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, Costco, what have you. If you're selling to retailers who are selling your product, it's very easy to allow users to find these stores. And these extensions also allow you to measure exactly how many people interact with each of these locations, and ultimately allow you to track how many in-store visits happen as a result of people seeing your ads. As we talk about expanding, Bing is a huge opportunity. Obviously, Google is the giant, but Bing has 31% of market share. It includes Bing, Yahoo, AOL, DuckDuckGo. Bing is quickly amping up their product. It includes expanded text ads and a number of these other features. Definitely a powerful source for new leads this season if you're not currently on it, as well as Facebook and Instagram. Facebook and Instagram contain over 1 billion active daily users, which means that regardless of who your customers are, they're likely on Facebook and Instagram. That's more than 1/6 of the world population. So people are out there, they're on Facebook and Instagram. And best of all, a lot of paid search, a lot of display efforts out there. people are using ad blockers, you can't reach them. That's not true on social. There's no way to block ads on Facebook or on Instagram. So it presents a new audience for a number of people. Our fourth tip today is going to be to use RLSA and Custom Match to convert holiday shoppers. And so, one of my favorite things when you're in a mall during this holiday season is to go shopping and to watch all the people who are just out of their element. You're going to see a lot of moms in Toys R Us looking around confused. You're going to see a lot of dads walking into Hollister or Abercrombie & Fitch with no idea what they're doing. You're also going to see a lot of these guys in Victoria's Secret looking around there, looking at these bras and lingerie with no idea what they're doing. And it's important to think about these poor lost men in Victoria's Secret when you're planning your paid search, because a lot of people who arrive at your site are going to be in the same position. They're going to be looking for someone else. They're not going to be using your product. They honestly don't know what they're looking for. So holiday shoppers may be a new audience to your site altogether. Think with Google did a study, 40% of all baby product purchases live in households without children. I'm going to be one of those 40% when I'm shopping for my niece later this year, is that I'm not a conventional shopper, but how are you going to look at converting me on your site? And we know that these shoppers are going to spend a lot more time shopping around, both looking at different products and prices, but also just figuring out what we're even looking for. And the average American spends 14 hours Christmas shopping over the holiday season, which is a full 2 days in a mall, walking around, shopping, or online on your phone, looking for items and sales and deals and all that stuff. So although they might be on your site for 5 minutes and it takes them 5 minutes to put something in their cart and buy it, they're still doing a lot of research before they actually make the purchase. So we can use RLSA to reach these people who are browsing our site today and plan to come back and purchase later on. Basically tag these people, add them to a remarketing list, and then we can either bid more aggressively for them or give them more appropriate messages to get them back to our site in the future. What we see is that these RLSA audiences, people who have been to our site before, often convert at 2 or 3 times or even 6 times as well as our traditional audiences themselves. This is across all different industries. This particular study was across 928 customers last year who were also doing RLSA during the holiday season. And Customer Match is a particularly powerful source. Basically, looking through your email marketing list, it's going to match who's on your email marketing list to people who are searching for your product. And what we see is that this is going to attract a particularly valuable, converting often at 6 or 7 times the rate of your traditional net new shoppers. So getting in front of these particular people, these are the people who are most likely to buy your product. And my final tip for today is to begin planning for January during the holidays. Everything we're talking about now, we're talking about Christmas, my favorite time of the year, but we're all thinking about like that Christmas Day moment when we look under the tree, we find exactly what we want, everything that we hoped and wished for. But we know after Christmas, things begin to get a little dark. Winter's coming, everything begins to slow down, and January can really suck. But January doesn't have to if we start planning for it well in advance. We know, for instance, that 56% of holiday shoppers are going to splurge on themselves after the holidays. These people are currently on your site, they're currently making their wish list, they're optimistic about what they want for Christmas, but if they don't get it, they're likely going to buy it themselves anyways. So we can use remarketing campaigns to put these people who are shopping for themselves on a list now, and then we can show them ads during and after the holidays to keep that interest in their products live. And then hopefully, after the holidays, if they don't get what they wanted as a gift, they'll come back to our site and purchase it. Facebook and Instagram are actually very powerful opportunities here as well. Not only do they reach everyone who has ad blockers, but they also reach people across all of their devices. So if I'm searching for something on my work computer, I'm going to see that that ad on my work computer, on my home computer, but also on my phone that I take everywhere else, so long as I'm signed into Facebook. So that ad's going to follow me, and I'm going to see a lot of it, and I can't get rid of it. And that's going to keep that interest in me to buy that product alive. What we actually see is that the more often people see an ad, the more exposure they have to an ad, the more likely it is when they click on it that they're going to convert. So remarketing is a very passive way to increase the conversion rate just among people who have been to our site before. So I wanted to recap real quickly so we can get some Q&A. The biggest thing that we can do right now is to start planning. And then once we have our plans, once we have our budgets, our promotions, everything that we need, we can begin writing those new ads, expanded text ads. Then we want to start thinking about new ways that we can get people to convert on our site with shopping, with Bing, with Facebook, or offline with calls, with text messages, or with in-store visits. We want to start thinking about strategies around remarketing lists for search audiences and customer match to convert those users better who have been to our site or are getting our emails. And we want to start planning January now with remarketing and setting up those audiences so that Q1 doesn't need to suck. That's what we have today. I know we have a lot of Q&A, right, Michelle?
Yeah, we do. Just before we get to that, thanks so much, Mark. That was absolutely awesome. In the name of the holidays, we have a special offer for everybody on the webinar today. WordStream is here. We have your back. We know this can seem overwhelming. So launching this quick offer for you. We've got 3 different things here you can select. You can either have a free live demo of our WordStream Advisor software, again, making PPC really easy for you all. You can give that a try with that demo. We also have the option for some one-on-one AdWords assessment and consultation with one of our certified consultants. And then finally, maybe you don't need any help with your PPC and you've got it for this holiday season. So we'll let you all select those, and then we will get to some Q&A. Okay, so for our first question for you, Mark, so you talked about the new expanded text ads. Will the standard text ads still run after the 31st?
So you'll lose the ability to create and edit standard text ads after the 31st. Although Google hasn't announced an official day for them to sunset the standard text ads, it's widely assumed that they're going to. And specifically, Google is sunsetting their API that supports standard text ads in late February. And at the moment, specs for that API don't include the standard text ad format. So that's not a no, but writing's on the wall that they're going away, likely early Q1 of next year. And same thing with Bing. Bing has said that they're going to support standard text ads throughout June of 2017, but thereafter they made it clear that they're to say that we're supporting it through June and then didn't give you any other information after June. So it's fair to assume that they're on their way out.
Gotcha. Okay, next question that came in. So when writing your ads for the holiday season, especially regarding sales and special offers, since so many advertisers will be doing this, do you have any recommendations on language to stand out?
Yeah. So one of the best ways to do this is to use an ad customizer or to use an ad countdown. And so if you were to, as you're writing your ad, include the bracket equals countdown, it's going to open a prompt for you to select a date or a time. And so basically, if you're running a promotion or you're running a sale through Friday, it'll say, today it will say that 3 days left in the sale. And then tomorrow, without changing that ad, it'll say 2 days left. And then as you approach the final day or the final hours, it'll continue to update that ad with the appropriate amount of time left in that promotion And it's going to create that like fear of missing out and that urgency that you want people to click on your ad. It's very similar to how dynamic keyword insertion gives that more relevant ad. That countdown ad during the holidays and during promotion time really does help lift click-through rate and makes managing your sales so much easier too.
Awesome. And really quickly, I had a question come in. So we just want to clarify on the special offer page, that one-on-one AdWords assessment, that's also free for any of you who are wondering that. Mark, we've got one more question for you that's come in. So you talked a little bit about asking your boss or your clients for a bit more budget forecasting for the upcoming season. If you get a no on that and your budget is tight, do you have any tips on how to make that budget stretch a little bit?
Right. If your budget is tight, we know that there's going to be more search interest. If you've got the same budget, then you want to make sure that you're prioritizing what's working for the holidays first. So I'd recommend really catering to that RLSA audience or that customer match audience, and doing a lot less prospecting with your audiences. Net new visitors, let them find you via some cheaper channels. Let them find you via organic. Let them find you via email. And really use your paid search budget to just attract people who are further down in that purchase funnel. And so remarketing and RLSA are really effective ways to do that. Another way to approach a limited budget, let's say we know that four times as many people are going to be searching for a product than we have budget for. That means that we really want to consider bidding down, actually, and maybe sitting further down on the search page. That means that we're not going to pay more for these clicks than we necessarily have to. We've got very little we can get it. Third option is to really nail it home with quality score. Quality score is kind of that dream that we all want, but if you can improve your quality score, then you can reduce your cost per click and you can afford to have more traffic this holiday season.
Awesome. Really helpful strategies. Okay, so that does it for today's webinar. So I'd like to thank you all again for joining us today, and special thanks to Mark, our expert, getting us all prepared for the rush of the holiday season. So if you have any other follow-up questions, we really encourage you to be social, reach out on Twitter at WordStream, or specifically to Mark at MarkIrvine89. And finally, once again, check your inbox for that email coming from Mark with the follow-up of today's webinar, including a recording and the slides for you all. So thanks again, and wishing you all a very happy